So here, thank you so much everyone for attending today's demo class. So as yesterday we discussed about what is data and types of data and why it is influencing for both IT sector and non-IT sector, why the data and the information, the decisions making is very important for every organization. These are things we have been discussed so far from the past 3 days. So today we'll understand how the statistics influence our data analytics, right? So here, what is basically a statistics? We'll understand what is statistics, what are the, as a data analyst, what are the important concepts you have to focus on the data analysis part, right? So here, what are the things we have? We have a descriptive statistics, measures of central tendency, measures of dispersions, and graphical and understanding their importance, right? And also what is understand like outliers will understand and their impact, and we'll understand about what is correlation and covariance, probability, sample space, event, probability functions, inferential statistics, t-test, and also the z-test, along with the hypothesis testing with examples. So these are the things we'll be learning out here. The basically, what is statistics? Statistics are nothing but, so is my screen is visible to you all, right? Just for a confirmation.
Yes, Eshwari.
Okay, perfect. So what is this statistics basically? Statistics are nothing but it is a study of collections, analysis, interpretation, and presenting, and the organizations of the data is known as statistics. Basically, even the statistics also deals with the study of collection of data, analysis of data, interpretations of data, presentations of data, and organized data in a structured way. It is called as a statistics, right? So this statistics will be deep diven by the data scientist, but as a data analyst you should be know the core components over here, what all it includes in the statistics. As a data analyst I have to understand, right? So here you have to understand the meaning of the statistics. Okay, we understood that. Again, it deals with the data where we'll be collecting, analyzing, interpreting, and presentations and organizing the data is called as a statistics, right? For an example, so here 4 out of 5 dentists recommended dentain, right? So again, it includes with the number. And the average score of the students in the science test was 65 out of 100. It is the average. So the minimum number of participants required for the workshop is 70. Here 70 again, quantitative data, right? Quantity is nothing but which includes the number. Any set of data which includes the numbers is called as a quantitative data. Any set of data which is in the alphabetical order, or it is in the, you know, with the alphabets without numbers, which can't be expressed in terms of number, that is called as a qualitative data, right? So again, whatever the number it includes, so here this is the statistics. Aggregate will be understanding, so we'll be calculating the GDP. All those things are what? So all those are calculated on the basis of statistics only. And here, so this statistics has been divided into the two kinds. We have to understand the statistics, and this statistics has been divided into the two kinds. One is the descriptive and second one is inferential statistics. What is this descriptive statistic refers to? It is a branch of statistics which involves the summarizing the organization data, right? So where we'll be dealing with the you'll be dealing with the historical data as we learned in the types of data. The first thing is of descriptive statistics. If you remember the day one demo class, we discussed about the types of data analytics. The first one is descriptive analytics. What is that descriptive analysis? It deals with the past data. Why past data? We want to evaluate the present conditions, so that we have to go to the previous data set and we have to analyze it and we have to understand the present situations as of now, right? So this descriptive statistics helps us to understand the present data in clear with the predictions of the previous data, right? And what about the inferential statistics? Again, this inferential statistics are nothing but if we are predicting the future on the basis of the sample of the data. If we have, analyzing the relationship between the study, hour of study and the exam scores. If you read overnight, so it'll be scoring. Only 1 day of preparation can lead to the average marks of at least we can get the score around 50 plus marks we can get for an average student. If you're preparing for the exam from past 1 week or 2 week, you can get about 80, right? And if you are preparing from the day one, so there is a chances of getting out of 4 marks. So what is this? The cause and effect. The inferential statistic refers to what is the cause now, what is your effort. So that will be helps us to make a predictions out here. So the average height of the population is 9.5 with a confidential interval. So again, so this particularly we can understand that inferential is nothing but we can analyze the process and we can draw the conclusions out of the data is called as a inferential statistics. This can be calculated again with the different tools and technologies. So we can discuss it on here. Right, so you know that. So we have data. What is data again? Data is a informations. We have a two kinds. One is three kinds, sorry. One kind of data is structured and unstructured, where all this process will be the type 1 process will be stored, followed by the you know, databases. And you can see here for the structured data, you can check with the Excel. You can take as a Excel as an example in a basic way. Excel, just imagine there will be a rows and the column where you'll be storing all those data on a day-to-day activity if it is a small firm. So you'll be storing that data in a row and the column, right? So that is called as a structured data. What about unstructured data? You're not following any of the data in a rows and the column. So that is called as a unstructured data, where every data is messed. You can take an example of notepad. So you can't make it in a rows and column. So that kind of data are called as unstructured data. And here we have cross-sectional time series, right? So time series, univariate, multivariate, all those things. So here, what is this cross sections? Cross sections data are nothing but data are collected in the single point of time. For an example, so students are given their exams and result will be declared at one single point. So the student will attend the exams in the different regions and the different locations, but the results are declared in the one set of website where all the data will be stored inside the one platform. So that kind of data are known as cross sections data. In a sense, we are crossing all the locations students to the one platform. So that is called as a cross section. What about this time series? So time series works about the on an interval basis. It can be the sequel time interval where it might be the quarterly, weekly, monthly, yearly, annually. So all those things you are taking the time series, the class interval in between. That is called as a time series data. Data is collected over a sequence of time interval, right? So daily stock prices, report data, monthly sales, quarterly sales, so on. So all these comes under the time series. And we have univariate data here. So what is this univariate and multivariate? So if in case any variable works with a single variable is called as a univariate, and we have a bivariate and multivariate. If it is dealing with the two variables is called as a bivariate. And what about multivariate? The data which deals with two or more variables are known as multivariate. This is very important. Sometimes in interview they'll ask you to check whether how strong you are in the basics. So what is univariate data? They'll ask you. What is multivariate data? They'll ask you. Just have an introduction of the statistics. So it is very beneficial to you. If you answer only this line, so it is more than enough, right? It is a simple component. What is variable basically? So this variable refers to, it is a container where we'll be storing all the data, right? So here, the data which deals with a single variable, single component, single attribute, single matrix. So these can be anything. You can store inside the variable any set of data. You can store the informations of the production. You can store the informations of the dates. If you can store the informations of the gender, any of the attributes, you can take it to store it in the variable. If you are dealing with only particular single column data inside the variable, so that is known as univariate. Okay, so we have again here multivariate. It is dealing with the more than two or more variables are called as a multivariate. Again, what are the types of variables? So here we are again, we have the variables in the statistics. So the types of variables. So what are the types of variables we have? So it is classified into the several types. So as I said you, so we have quantitative and also the qualitative. So which is very important. Qualitatives are nothing but which can be expressed in terms of number. Okay, so the data which can be represented in terms of numbers are called as quantitative variable, where you can perform any mathematical operations, any statistical operations can be performed. And we have a discrete variable. So inside this quantitative, we have a discrete and continuous. So what is this discrete? Discrete are the whole numbers or the integer numbers we can call it as. And the continuous variable are nothing but we'll be writing it in the float or decimal data type. In the sense, 5.1, 6.7, 88.5, the scores. You can give the examples for the continuous variable. You can give the scores for height, weight, temperature, time, right? And for discrete, you can give the number of the cars in the parking lot, number of the students in the class. So can we divide the student into half? 43.5 like that? No, right? We have to give exact accurate integer or whole number to represent the value. It is a countable format. So that is called as a discrete variable and the continuous variable. And this comes under the quantitative data. So what about this qualitative data? Qualitative variables are nothing but it can be the numerical form. It can be expressed in the characters. Suppose for an example, we have a two kind. One is nominal and ordinal variable. So what is this nominal? It is an inherent order of ranking the categories like uh, you can see here gender, male and female. So it is by default, it is a quantitative. And again, so eye color. So it might be the blue, green, brown, black, right? So these are the things of storing the variable in the nominal data. Okay, nominal variable. And what is this ordinary? So again, you can see here, this education level has a three sectors. In the drop down, in everywhere you fill the data, right? So what is this variable basically? Variables are nothing but it is a container where we can store all the data. So what are the data over here? Suppose if it comes to the educational level, we'll be storing all the data related to high school, bachelor's, and also the master's, right? So these are the data which can be stored inside the variable that is called as ordinal variable, where we'll be having the categories of the variable with a clear order ranking, but the interval between the ranks are not necessary or equal. So here you can see the satisfactory rating. We can give satisfied, neutral, or dissatisfied. We have three different options to that one particular class over here. So this is a class and these are the objects, right? So, and the third one we have binary variable. So binary, the word says it is with the binary variables are the types of qualitative variable, where it takes only the two possibilities. We can take the binary as a Boolean variable as well. The Boolean and the binary are same. It takes on or off only the two values in it, true or false, yes or no kind. And again, we have interval variable, ratio variable, right? These are the things. So what about this ratio variable? So ratio variables are like interval variables, but have the true 0 points, right? So which indicates the zero presence of the variable. So it can be performed with the calculations, mathematical operations. So here height, weight, age, income. So all those things comes under the example of ratio variables. So these are the types of variables in the statistics where we can perform the data and store the data inside the variable based on the usage of the data, right? So we have again here the two terminologies called population and sample. So anyone has idea about what is population and what are the samples? So here Divya, Geeta, Mohammed, Rishabh, Vishal. So what is population and what is sample?
Ma'am, sample is basically take from the population.
Yes. So the populations are the people is
Ah,
considered the whole. We are not ignoring any set of the locations or any set of the countries. We are taking all the populations for the analysis is called as a populations. So to draw the conclusion, if I take the set of the sample of the people are called as a population. So sample population, you can see here, this entire green shaded circle consists of all the population. So for my analysis to the study of the behavior of the populations, what I'll do, I'll just take only the few set of populations for my analysis to draw some of the survey, or I can conduct a survey for the some set of people and draw the conclusion to know about the behavior of the people, right? So these are the difference between the populations and the sample. So entire group of individuals or item that are interested in the study is called as a population. It includes all possibility subjects that are particular set of criteria. And again, what are the samples? Samples are the small group of the population which is selected from the population again. So it is used to represent the population in the study. So whatever the conclusion we draw from the sample, that conclusion is finalized for all the populations if we do with the sample, right? So here you can see the sample is used to draw the conclusion about the entire populations. Whatever we get here, the results, it is equal to entire population. The conclusion we can give it out with the sample. And why sample? Because when it compares to the population and the sample, so if I go and do the research for the some particular of people, compared to the entire population, it saves little cost, right? So it reduces the cost of the data collection. When the full census cannot be taken, we can draw the conclusions by the sampling. So that's why the samplings are very important. So suppose imagine in the real time, how does it work? You have the different locations of the product selling. So if in case you wanna check out of all the 10 products, you know, check with the sales of only the 5 products you're taking with the sample. So if these 5 products are with the good sales, you can draw the conclusion like rest of the 5 products are also selling with a good price, until and unless you take all the products for the calculations, but on an average basis due to the sample, so you can draw the conclusion with good or bad, right? So like that. And again, the sampling techniques, we have sample running, simple random sampling, systematic sampling, stratified sampling, clustered sampling. So these are the types of sampling again. So what are the factors will affect on the sampling? So this is very important. You can see here the population size, sampling methods, and variability or in the populations. Bias refers to the false informations in the data. So if there is the false information I gather from the group of people, again it leads to the wrong conclusions. So here you have to imagine that. So you have to fix that. Whatever we do the data analysis, it's not 100% accurate value we'll be getting. We can reach to the core level of possibility, not exact value, the exact result will be getting in any way. Okay, so that is the one thing. And here, so we have a sampling frame, resource availability, purpose of study, and the margin of error and confidence level. So these are the factors which are affecting the sampling. So again, this is the basics of statistics now. So what are the central tendency? Here the central tendency refers to the calculation of mean, median, mode, range, all those value. So we'll see all those things in our classes. So again, so when it comes to the measures of dispersions, so we will be calculating over here range. So what is range? Range is nothing but difference between the maximum value and the minimum value are called as the range. And we have a quartile over here, right? So the quartiles are again divided into the two, that is Q1, Q2 and Q3. So Q2 always represents the median value. So this can be done with the quartiles and percentiles calculations. Just see this diagram. Okay, so here quartile are divided into the 4 value parts. So what are those? So here completely here from this to here it will be 100%. And when it comes to the Q1, the Q1 always says that it is a 25th percentile. And here the Q2 refers to 50th percentile and Q3 refers to 75th percentile, and the last one is 100 and the first one is 0. It starts from 0 and 25th data and then 50th data and 75th percentiles, and again here we have the total 100%. So this is, what is this? This is basically, it is a diagram which helps us to understand the quartiles and the percentiles. This is basically a diagram. And the next thing, we have interquartile range again. So interquartile range is nothing but we'll be understanding the Q2 value, that is a 50% of the data, which is also called as a median. Okay. And apart from that, we have a variance, standard deviations, frequency. Yeah, frequency is very important. So what is this frequency? Frequency refers to the number of times the particular values or the category appears in the data set. It helps in understanding the distributions of the data points within the data sets, right? So these are the things. And cumulative frequency. So we can see all those things practically. And geographical representations. So here we have a histograms, skewness, kurtosis, and correlations and regressions, box plot. So whatever we have seen the previous diagram, that is called as a box plot. So here, what is the use of box plot? So here the box plot helps us to see the minimum value, and it helps us to see the maximum value. And if I want to go through with the Q1, so the first 25th unit is called as a Q1, and the second Q2 is of median, and the Q3 is of upper quartile, we can call it as. So this particular diagrams are called as interquartile region. So why it is important to use the box plot always? Because we can calculate the median value Q1, Q2 and Q3 along with the minimum and maximum value of the particular data set, so that we can use the interquartile range. So where we'll be using all those things? We can use this with the Python, you can use with the NumPy, and these are the libraries which are inside the Python programming language. And again, you can make a use of Excel as well. So not with the interquartile range. So, but you can calculate the quartiles and percentiles along with the correlation, regression, dispersion analysis, and also the descriptive analysis can be made. ANOVA, we have all those things you can calculate with the help of interquartile range with the tools of Python and also the Excel. Okay, and the another plot we have a scattered. So why scattered are used to show the correlations, the value regressions with the things, right? And yeah, 1 second. Yes, so this is the correlation and regressions. So correlations, what is correlations basically? Correlations are nothing but it creates the relationship between two variables. So two variables are nothing but one, if you take if the number of study hours and the number of marks scored. So if the study hours are more, the marks will be more. If the study hours are less, the marks will be lesser. So why? So this is hours of study and also the scores getting in the exams. So these are the two variables. So if you, and another example we can give for the correlation is the amount spent on advertisement and the increase in the sales. Okay, so even that will influence you on the two attributes over here, the two variables of the data. The first variable is of advertising, the amount spent on the advertising, and the second variable are nothing but the number of sales which is increased by the advertising. So if it is moving in the upward direction when we plot it in the graph, so then it is called as a positive correlation. If it is in the downward directions, so then it represents it is in a negative correlations, and if it is neutral, then we can call it as a no relationship between two variables, right? So these are the one thing you have to keep in mind. So we can discuss all these things in deep in the real time classes, but as of now, for your understanding purpose and for your brief note, so how the statistics are very important for the decision making, I'm just explaining you. And apart from correlations and dispersions and the graphs outlier, we have to understand the probability. So probability is nothing but it's a measure of likelihood of the particular events which is occurred, right? It is a measure measured between 0 and 1. So where 0 means impossible and 1 means certainly there is a possibility of it. So if in case 0.5 or 0.6, if you get the value in the output, so it says that it varies from the degree of likelihood and change. So it might increase or turn to the possibility or certain. So if it is exactly 0 and the below 0, so the probably you can take up a decision like this particular event, it causes the loss to us. So in that situation, you can do that. And again, the probability function, inferential statistics again. So, right, so we know that it is a cause and effect. And point estimation. So apart from that, we have to understand here the student's T distribution, Z distribution, and also the hypothesis testing, which comes under again the probability only. We have this hypothesis of two kinds. So hypothesis, again, it is a statistical method evaluated with the claim of the hypothesis about the parameter. So here what does we do? So will we compare the sample data with the population's parameter with another parameter. In the sense, one attributes or one variable will be compared with another variable. So where we can make a draw the decisions by the help of it. Without hypothesis test, you'll be drawing into the wrong conclusions and also the making the bad decision. Sometimes it happens. So this hypothesis helps us to view it in a very thinner line. So where helps us to take the decisions very accurately. And again, here what are the types we have? We have null hypothesis, alternative hypothesis, right? So these are the scenario based things we have it, right? So this is actually the introduction of statistics for our data analytics course, right? So we'll see all these 5 to 6 components and 5 to 6 topics of statistics in our session. So here you can see what all we are learning. So here we'll learn the descriptive statistics, calculation of descriptive statistics, calculation of central tendency, measures of dispersions, range, variance, standard deviation, percentiles, and quartiles. How do we use this box plot to perform all the measures of dispersion and central tendency? And graphical representations, what are outliers? What are outliers basically? Outliers are the data which is not relevant to the data set what we are dealing with, but its presence are affecting to our data, so that data we want to find and we have to uh, check for the replacement or corrections of the data from the outlier what we see. And again, we have seen the correlations and covariance. Correlations is nothing but the relationship between two variables, and covariance, again, we are calculating the variance for that particular calculated correlations variables. And probability, sample space, event, probability functions. So these are the very important. And inferential statistics, t-test, z-test, hypothesis testing with examples. So yeah, so these are the things we'll be learning out. So if you have any doubts, you can ask me now. So Divya, Geeta, Mohammed, Rishabh, Vishal. So Divya, Geeta, Mohammed, Rishabh, Vishal, are we there?
Yes, yes. Yes,
Yes,
Eshwari.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. So hope you understood with the influence of statistics for our data analytics domain. So yeah, so we shall connect tomorrow if you don't have any doubts. And I just want to brief you out about the class durations, class timings, and what are the benefits of the sessions out here. So if you go through with the syllabus copy in the website, so we'll be having all the tools and technologies what we are learning and understanding over here. So we'll be learning here the spreadsheet of Excel, programming language Python, visualization tool with a BI, business intelligence, that is of Power BI. And again, the database we are learning Microsoft SQL. We are learning that is MySQL. And along with that, the Git and GitHub, it is a version control, we can call it as. So the complementary, we are learning the statistics, data analytics for our analytic purpose, only the few components here, 10 topics we are learning. So, and apart from that, the AWS service overview, we are learning as an overview of this, how to create a S3 buckets and how we can write the queries to fetch the data from the S3 buckets. So these are the lab activities. We can do it along with the parallel classes, right? The duration of the courses would take like 45 to 60 days. And when it includes the statistics, it may extend to a couple of or 3 days more extra, it's 45 to 60 days. We can take it as a round figure. And the timings would be from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. So daily, Monday to Friday. And Saturday, Sunday will be the week off. And yeah, so all the recording sessions will be given to you from the DURGASOFT management on a daily basis. So no need of worry if you skip any of the classes. You can have a backup as a recording classes. Each day the classes will be recorded and you'll be given the drive link access to that so that you can have an access anytime. And yeah. So apart from this, do you have any questions or a doubt? So resume preparations, I can help with the resume preparations as well. If you have a gaps or need to fill with any of the responsibilities, I can help you out with that. Right. So also we'll be providing all the interview questions and necessary documentations on each topics. I think Divya or Vishal, Geeta, do you have any questions?
So from tomorrow, are we going to start, Eshwari?
Not exactly tomorrow. So tomorrow, Thursday and Friday will be having the demo classes. So from Monday, we can start with our live sessions. So once you have been registered, they'll share you with the link, with a paid link. So we can connect to that paid link from Monday. So till then, so we'll be using here the demo link only for tomorrow and day after tomorrow.
All right. And one more question, Eshwari. So from day one, you'll be starting again from the scratch like this, or?
Yes.
Okay. from the scratch, we are going to start from day one, if I
Yes,
understand correctly.
exactly. Yeah, yes, exactly, Vishal.
All right, I got you. Yeah.
The certificate
Sorry, Geeta.
the certificate, DurgaSoft will provide a certificate for the course.
No, just once you cross-check with the DURGASOFT management while registering, check once will they provide you the certificate or not. Only I have an access for training. So the certificate details, I think you have to connect with the DURGASOFT management. They may provide you the certifications of completion. Just cross-check once.
And what about the projects? Is there any project for us?
Yeah.
for the work experience?
Yes, we'll be dealing with here the five real-time projects. And that projects you'll be doing by using all the 5 different tools and technologies. So it is from will be first initially we'll start with the Excel, creation of the Excel dashboards, and then we'll go for the Power BI. So in the Power BI, so how we can create a dashboards and reports. So all these will be taken into the real-time projects, and you can add those things in your resume as well in the projects and experience.
So you start from basic to advanced. Right?
Yes.
I'm done.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, fine. So Rishabh, Vishal, Divya. So any doubts or questions?
No, I'm good.
Nothing
Thank
from
you.
my end.
Okay. It was a great session. Thank you so much, everyone. So we shall connect tomorrow then. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. Cheers. Bye.
Yeah, thank you.